Welcome to Nostalgia Pilots, a mobile fighter G Gundam podcast that can't escape the iron-fisted grip of the Devil Gundam. I'm Hugh.
I'm Jurd.
I'm Spence, and Jason will be joining us shortly.
We're here to discuss G Gundam Episode 23, Destined Battle, Domon versus Devil Gundam. And that's definitely a thing that happened.
Okay, so this opens, well, usual announcer bit. I'm just going to kind of fast forward through that because it's just a recap of stuff we've already talked about. But I'm going to admit that I thought the buckles around the planet were metaphorical, like a sort of metaphorical image for the theme song. And I don't know what it was about today, but they're standing out there in the satellite and they're looking at Earth and they're talking about the problems and there's actual buckles there. And now I need to know what functional reason there are. And if this show goes to the end without somebody being thrown into those buckles and being bounced back off of them, I am going to be highly disappointed.
I'm not going to say anything, but wait till next week. Like, they serve a plot purpose.
Okay, I'm alight with curiosity to determine what these actual buckles could be doing, because it was hilarious when I realized, like, the show plays a lot with, visual aspects, and sometimes, like, the two Gundams are talking, but, like, they'll cut to just the people talking,
right.
And does a good job of that. So up until this point, I've been like, oh, it's a fighting Earth. It's like a metaphor. No, it's not a metaphor. There's giant lasers out there. They've got five
giant lasers, and they work like ropes.
And that is good to know. I am excited to see next week's episode now.
Well, now you've got my mind going, well, how does that work? Like, is it like magnetic, or how would that work without evaporating the Gundams themselves? So,
Spence, it works the exact same way that Master Asia's scarf works.
Oh, so bullshit.
Yes, it's just very long.
This is okay. Speaking of stretched premises, Half-Mast Guy. Let's talk about Half-Mast Guy. Does he have some sort of skin rash that he's concerned about us seeing? Because at this point, he's got a rank. I'm pretty sure everybody knows who he is. Mm-hmm. Why does he have half a mask on?
I'm pretty sure it's either he's a musical fan and he also liked the animated series Street Fighter, and so he is combining his love of Vega and the Phantom into one look. And nobody says anything about it.
Also, he was injured in the Devil Gundam's breakout. So he does have a scar.
It's a scar.
He must have some kind of wicked scar under there, but we haven't seen it yet.
See, for me, I think he just really likes MF Doom. He really likes the hip-hop head. He really likes hip-hop. And he's a super bad.
It does have that look, eh? If he was to like mirror it, okay. So here's my theory. So we're talking theories. For half a second there, even though I know it's not, I kind of wished that he was Kyoji, and that half mask was the only thing keeping people from realizing.
Anyway, Clark Kent rules.
Yeah, basically, exactly. Got half a mask, totally different. So I feel though,
if the last 2 years have taught me anything, it's that half mask doesn't work. Ever.
So I do feel like we have surprisingly, like you mentioned his injury, okay, that, a little bit, but I feel like we have surprisingly little backstory for a Gundam masked character. Like usually in their mask, they're constantly making, high drama statements, and he's just kind of like, hey, the data looks pretty rough.
He's definitely the most low-key of those masked guys.
It's because he's not beautiful, right? Like, usually the masked individuals are beautiful pilots.
He's fine. I wouldn't kick him out of bed for eating cookies.
Yeah, but he's no Zex. He's no Char.
Nobody is Zex. He does not have, like, a waterfall of blonde hair. I will admit that.
Yeah, he needs the Dolly Parton locks if he wants to truly embody the masked individual for Gundam.
Let's take a minute to appreciate the everyday masked man, just working at 9 to 5, trying to make it through.
He's got to go to the same salon that Full Frontal goes to get those curls right.
But okay, so we were talking about this lieutenant guy, and honestly, give me a redhead over a blonde any day. That's all I'm saying.
You know,
Fair.
can we put a girl from Raid the Mess Team in a mask?
Karen in a mask? Again,
Hell yes.
Yeah. Okay, so they determine that Domon's made some terrible decisions, which is basically every episode, and they fire off. At this point, they're like, well, it's a problem enough that we should fire off this pod we've gotten held here through the entire run of the series so far. So this brings me to the first of a series of questions. I'm not going to actually ask them right now, but I want to put a little pin in this because I have some issues. So anyway, meanwhile, back on Earth, Domon's fighting, I don't know, Quado robot. It's a very odd situation. There's a robot with a head on its head, and it's all a mess.
Yes, well, because, the Devil Gundam is like a series of nested Gundam heads, because it's basically the bad guy from Ghosts and Goblins just as a giant robot.
Yeah. It is, again, some of the best horror imagery we've ever seen in a Gundam series in this episode, but just still not really, like, I wish the vibe would be fights or horror. And sometimes it's like, hey, you want a little horror in your fight? Okay. But it doesn't really, sell it entirely.
See, for me, right, Master Asia felt like, I don't know if you remember this show, guys, but a reboot villain when he's like appearing throughout the entirety of the Shining Gundam going, get mad, get mad, get mad, get mad. And I'm like, are you a virus? Are they gonna fight the user right now? Like, what is going on?
He was very Emperor Palpatine in that scene. He's like, yes, let the hate flow through you.
I'm honestly surprised they didn't use that line. Because that's totally how, like, that merger of a virus and Emperor Palpatine is very apt. Definitely getting into Domon's head, and Domon has only known vengeance and regret, and that stems from anger. So, and Master Asia is one talking about how his people could never surpass him, which kind of tells you about his mental state, because a true master longs for their pupil to surpass them. But this is about power for Master Asia. And subjugating his quote-unquote most powerful student would be like a puffing of the chest and just like, yeah, I'm a man! Sorry, guys. But it's true.
You're not wrong.
No, you're definitely not wrong. But as I watch this episode, the first thing I think of is, do something, German ninja. Like, why is it left up to Domon to fight this, like, octopus Gundam? Like, give him a hand.
Yeah.
Where's the rest of the Royal Flush crew? Like,
it's because he's specifically like, listen, we need to go. Like, we need to go. You're not going to win. You have not even managed to cut a waterfall with your rusty sword yet. We need to leave.
Yeah.
Like, it just, like,
we didn't have the rusty sword this episode, and I was going to be untraumatized. Thanks, Jurd.
Like, at least with, like, Naruto, like, when he gets into a fight with, like, a really powerful villain, he's got, like, an entire village ready to back him up and, like, fight with him. Nah, go ahead, Domon. Handle all of that. The trauma of your brother, the betrayal of your master.
No, listen. You're looking at this the wrong way, okay? Domon is the drunk friend at the party. Everyone has gone home. Everyone has left. Everyone knows Domon should go home. The only person who's still arguing this is Domon in the corner being like, yeah, guys, let's hit the PS4. Like, just go home.
He thinks he's Steve Rogers and be like, is that all you got?
Exactly.
I could do this all day.
And listen, his credibility is highly undermined by the fact that Master Asia's like, you want to see what a genuine battle is really like? And then his move is to, I don't know if you caught this animation, immediately splay his legs and arms out as open as he possibly can and begin to spin in a circle, which is the goofiest looking power move I have ever seen in my goddamn life. So the fact that it kicks Domon's ass immediately is just go home, Domon.
Yeah. But we do get a sweet sequence where Schwartz cuts through like the scarf with his kunai. That was pretty cool.
Bro, he's like the 007 of Gundam pilots. He's got flashbangs, kunais, you name it. He pulls rusty swords out of nowhere. Like I think he's got his crew member is Moneypenny. Like I feel like he's just got a whole Bond outfit with him. But Jurd, about that attack, I don't know if you guys have seen this, right? The prequel to the Kingsman franchise called Kingsman. So in that movie, they fight Rasputin, a wizard monk, and he literally Russian dance sword fights people. And I just could not stop seeing Rasputin from that movie when Master Asia was doing his spinny top thing, and it tickled me. I was giggling uncontrollably at this. Like, if you've not seen that movie, watching it for the dance fighting of Rasputin is amazing.
It's on the list.
But no, Master, like this, like I know they're supposed to be martial artists. Use martial arts. What is this?
Yep.
What is this? Like, I just throw some punches. At least Domon is throwing punches.
He may have been limited by the way that he wants to move versus the way that the Gundam can move. Like, I'm pretty sure that it's not going to have the hyper flexibility of your knee or of your shoulders and elbows, like if you're hyper jointed or anything like that. So it could be they're working within those bounds. And so it's like I'm going to do a giant pirouette kind of thing. And it's got like a little wheelie thing on the bottom of his toe or something. I don't know.
I think
they were trying for physics.
I think you said that Gundam needed to stretch. I think you just said it needed to limber up for it.
Oh, okay. Actually, while we're talking the mechanics of the Gundams, there is a sequence in which Master Asia, actually, to go back to your Palpatine reference, there's a sequence in Master Asia's laying out, how he's going to kick ass, whatever, and trying to goad Domon into using his super mode. And they shoot him like he's got a hologram version of his head and shoulders above his own Gundam while he's talking. And the thing is, it doesn't look like the show, again, to go back to the buckles, makes me wonder, is this actually supposed to be a hologram projected? Or is this just that thing where they kind of like, interpose people against their Gundams and we're supposed to
honestly, I think because of the way that Master Asia is and how charismatic he can be, I think that probably is something that they put on his Gundam so that he could influence a mass of people that are around him. So I don't think it's on all the Gundams, but I think that would make sense for his Gundam.
What we don't see is the pulpit that he's preaching from, and all the zombified corpses having a revival at his Gundam's feet with his giant hologram projector speech. Also, like, if there's giant war rigs in space that can like shoot things, why don't they do that more often? Like.
Okay, listen. If you're asking a question about why a bunch of fighting robots only use kung fu on each other, like, let's not get too specific here. Although, if you want realism, nothing will get you like an older brother laughing at you, which is what eventually Domon, he just cannot help himself. Every time Kyoji, his brother, who he has not seen in forever and who he has like no answers from, he's like, "Oh, you're laughing? Maybe this is a sign of, mental distress or something." No, I need to murder you. This is like Saturday morning all over again. You just busted my Lego house. I am super pissed. Super mode time.
That hits so close to home, Jurd. What the hell?
Yeah, that's very specific.
Yep.
Like, although I will say I do like the super mode transformation, especially once he finally does get control of it. And then I go, wait, didn't they do this at the end of Gurren Lagann where everybody turns gold and starts throwing galaxies at each other?
Well, see, this is where we get into that thing where the showmanship of a sport versus an actual, like, efficient fighting system. Because this would be cool on, like, an American Gladiators style combat where they were actually focusing on, the showmanship of the fights and trying to like make them super impressive. I don't just going gold as like I'm super pissed at my brother, kind of hilarious, but not necessarily sensical.
Dragon Ball Z says it worked for them. Why can't it work for Dragon Ball Z and robots?
I would say if they don't name the super the Midas touch, they are missing out on an opportunity. I'm just saying.
Well, okay.
The whole Gundam turns bright gold and its shining finger. Anyway, Greek mythology.
I don't want to get ahead of ourselves here, but since we were already talking about it, you make an interesting point because he goes into the super mode and it goes gold. And so I've been trained by previous Gundam series to believe that when space guys launch an alternate suit, the arc we're going to get is Domon gets his ass kicked, the suit gets wrecked, the last possible second, the backup suit shows up, and that's what's in the pod is like the second model kit that they want us to buy.
We do get that like tiny hint where they're like, deploy the god, and we see like a robot skeleton.
Yeah, so I thought that was how this was going to end because this episode feels so much like the end, like this, with slight tweaks to the story, could have been the last episode of the series almost, except for we wouldn't really resolve the actual fighting arena part. Definitely feels like a season ender, and I really thought we were going to get the suit wrecked and it would be replaced next episode.
I think we sort of like are at the point where like he does the thing, but it's so costly to his suit. Like he's so awesome, he destroys himself. Like he's Deku.
At least Deku's got fancy boots and gloves now. He doesn't break many bones anymore.
He doesn't break his own bones quite as often.
Yeah, because he's got fancy boots.
But going back to that, I honestly think that that Schwartz did a lot of that self-destructive or self-sacrificing behavior. But the other thing that we didn't really touch on is, but we've passed as far as the timeline goes, is Rain, as we saw, was pretty fucked up at the end of the last episode, and the Russian convoy took her away. So she wakes up on the convoy and is able to get a call into her father. And it's that call to the father. It's like, yes, please deploy the extra thing because Domon's a dumbass.
Yeah.
And sorry, that's just like conjecture. I imagine that's what was said. But in the background, you have the commandant, Natasha, with her little core going, is it safe to have somebody from Neo Japan accessing our government stuff? And I'm just like, it's a missed opportunity, but also Rain's not a spy. She's a lot of things, but she's not a spy.
As far as we know, she could be 007. Like
she could be. No, she
does have a lot of fancy toys.
She would be more Hugh than 007.
Okay, so you've touched on two things though that are sort of underpinning my only critique with this episode, which is probably a critique of this first run of the show, if I'm saying anything. This show could have saved, or there's not a huge amount of reason that I can see, I should say, yet, that they didn't previously deploy what I assume is going to be an incredibly awesome Gundam in that pod. And second, this whole Kyoji situation in which he's Schwartz Brooder or whatever, which plays heavily throughout this episode. Like, they play really on the, wait, I know that voice. Who could that possibly be? And then Master Asia, right at the end, what you were saying, Spence, he ends up, Schwartz Brooder kind of intercepts him and kind of sacrifices himself to stop Master Asia, and his suit does get wrecked, so maybe you're right, maybe he's getting an upgrade next episode. But if we had just, if he had just said, oh, hey, it's actually me, I'm Kyoji, not the laughing maniac up there, which I assume at some point he's going to have to reveal, we wouldn't have gotten this fight in the first place. We wouldn't have had to go through this whole experience.
A lot of problems would be solved if we would just communicate better. Just saying.
Yeah. If real Kyoji had told him that the other Kyoji was fake Kyoji, then he probably wouldn't even want to fight this guy. He would have been gone, been elsewhere. They would have left planet.
Okay,
but
so
at the same time, though,
the thing is, the way the Devil Gundam works is they're both fake Kyoji, and Kyoji is like a robot skeleton inside of that thing.
See, okay, so now I'm going to flip over the blackboard with my strings and Post-it notes up on everything. So if Kyoji can be replicated, because I think that's an interesting point. If he's standing on top of the thing that is kind of standing on top of the thing that's standing on top of the thing, is he just part of the robot? Because that would, but then, is Master Asia actually Master Asia? Because if we've got a fake Kyoji, why can't we have a fake Master Asia?
Well, Master Asia, a few episodes back, said I didn't need to be converted by the Devil Gundam, the DG cells. I chose to do this willingly. That being said, I honestly thought that Kyoji was like a hologram or something. I think because we were spoiled, since this is our first run through, we were spoiled with that reveal of Bruder as Kyoji. It's not as shocking. It's like everybody who is watching Star Wars for the first time knows the line, "I am your father." So that the suspense of that is a little bit ruined for us. I feel like we would be more about the whole mask reveal at the end if we hadn't known that.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair, and it's hard to give an honest reading as to what I have been able to guess before now. I think I probably would have been in the dark because I would have just assumed it was any other goofy thing from this goofy show. So
because everyone's eyes are shaped the same.
Yeah, no, you make a good point.
As we're approaching the end of this episode, maybe Master Asia needed those DG cells because he's starting to look his age a little bit there. Very crypt keepery.
Yeah, so, like, after he loses the fight at the end of this episode, like, his hair has gone white, he's like, how could this be? And then when we see him again, he's gonna be fine, so maybe he was, like, juiced a little.
Okay, well, you gotta say, on the other side, Domon had a bunch of shots where he looked like, a character from Disgaea gone demon mode or something, like, he was totally flipping out. But I had to touch on this. Master Asia's line, "Is he trying to surpass me?" Like, yes, this entire time he's been trying to surpass me. What kind of question is that? Anyway, I know they just needed to write a line there, but yeah.
Yeah, this was a decent enough fight, although I think they've had some better ones previously, especially since once he actually goes super mode and controls everything, it's a lot of save the animation by having, like, an unmoving Gundam like slide across the frame and then have the things it hits explode. Like,
yeah, it is very Gundam Seed in its use of sliding Gundams.
Come on, guys. Like,
well, I mean, they saved for those really artistic moments, though.
Yeah.
And I found myself drawn to those. Normally I'm doing crochet or something while I'm watching the episode. I had to stop and put my hook and yarn down so that I could watch because I was wrapped by it,
Yeah, there were some really good sections.
Yeah, that's what I've never understood about Gundam. Although I will say with Gundam Seed, that first season of Gundam Seed is quite well animated. But we're not going to talk about Gundam Seed Destiny. We're just not.
Yeah.
We're just not about that.
Gundam Seed Destiny is the thing that happens.
Yeah, but you would think that with their model kit money, they could animate a few more things. They could have afforded a little more life.
Well, I think there's something to be said for not just saving on the budget, because I do think that's part of what they were doing, but I also think that we're episode 24 of 50-something? Like, they need to leave some gas in the tank just to impress us down the line with visuals, so they don't want to necessarily make this the blowout.
Yeah, now I will say that almost every Gundam series is about 52 episodes, so they should be used to this by now, because this is, hell, Zeta Gundam got 2. Because you got Zeta Gundam with 50-some episodes, and then you got Double Zeta with another.
Yeah, and I think Double O did too.
Oh, wait, did it get 50?
I'm not sure if it was 50 over 2 seasons or if it was 2 seasons of 50. I'd have to go double check.
Yeah, I need to finish Double O. That one's also another ridiculous thing where people get sniped from space, but it's fine. But no, I do like the fact that for some reason Master Asia used too much power and now is aging rapidly, as Domon is giving the Zen Kyoji.
Well, I feel like, so I just had a thought, like literally just now as you were saying that Master Asia's life force is being taken away. Do you think it's because Domon took the sash and incorporated it into his super mode?
Oh, that was actually gonna be my favorite moment, because I thought that sequence was hilarious when he just like obtains it and kind of whips it around himself into, I don't know, Dom gear or whatever you want to call it.
You muted yourself.
There's a video game where you can take like bits and pieces from monsters and make another monster. Like, so wait, is Domon just like grafting martial arts skills to himself now? Like, he's gonna take Kyoji. He's gonna take Kyoji's kunais. He'll take Chibity's arm pads. Let's see. He'll get Argo's ball and chain.
No, he'll get his harness.
Ray's
Yes.
gonna he'll be like, I want that ball and chain, and Ray's like, no, you're getting the harness.
I need to keep you in line. You're taking the bomb.
And then he gets one of those flags from Saisashi.
And a rose bit. He needs
Got a rose.
Single rose.
Yeah.
He's seagull rose bit.
A single rose, just the one rose bit. Like, it's not even useful. It's just the one rose bit.
He keeps it in his
He gets
lapel.
Chibity's chest protector.
Like, yeah, I would, you know what? I would watch a Voltron-esque Gundam show by, like, give me 5 Gundams that can transform into a giant Gundam. Like, let's go Unicron style. And I'd watch that. I'd watch the hell out of that, actually.
I'm surprised Build Fighters hasn't done that already, honestly.
Oh, man. At this point, is Build Fighters, is that like the only thing Build Fighters hasn't done? Because they literally have reversions, reskins, recolors, recombinations of every Gundam ever made ever.
Yeah, like my favorite is still the Danny Trejo version of Tequila Gundam.
Not about that. Oh gosh. Oh yes, Gundam. I love you so much.
Yes.
You fill me with such joy when you have old geriatrics fight young people in giant robots, and then somehow lose their health because the martial arts trope of, you know, my master is too old for this and he's used too much energy. Like, all we need now is like a 5-palm exploding death punch and we'll be good.
Well, it's like the situation where they can't like have Master Asia leave, but Master Asia still has like to be defeated. So it's just sort of like, I'm temporarily old, so you can fight the Devil Gundam now.
I'm semi-defeated of the East now. Geriatric of the East. Oh man. Gundam.
And so, okay, remind me, does Domon actually exit the country at the end of the episode? Because I didn't make a note about that.
No. So what happens is Domon goes beast mode, where his eyes turn literally red like a vampire.
Yep.
He gets fangs.
Yeah. And then he like goes berserker for a while. And then he fights Master Asia, but then okay, and we skip over my favorite part of the episode, which is Kyoji and Schwartz doing the like passing cars Umbrella Academy meme as he's like pretending to leave.
I really thought they were gonna hug it out at one point. Like,
Honestly, I heard in the back of my head, Hermione Granger say, "That's what my head looks like from the back."
Like, I really thought that like that Schwartz was gonna hug it out with Domon when he went all beast mode. I'd be like, he's like, "Yo, it's okay, man, it's okay." Although, as I'm doing mashups now, if Blade had just showed up and staked Domon at this point, like, I would have been okay with it.
Yeah, he's a vampire. It's what he does.
Like, oh god, now I'm just thinking in my head that scene where the guy tries to shoot Blade and he just turns around and goes, "Motherfucker, are you out of your mind?" Like, it's one of my favorite moments in that franchise because it's just Wesley Snipes looking at someone. He's not acting anymore.
Yeah, it's definitely like Blade's version of Vampire Hunter D, like grabbing the arrow out of the air and just sort of looking at it.
Oh man, but
really?
Like, at some point, like, you know what? How about next time Kyoji and Schwartz do the passing cars thing? Like, they just time cop themselves.
Yeah.
Like they got too close.
But it's a trick because as a ninja, Schwartz is still obviously there, but then he like gets stabbed in the chest by Master Asia at like the cost of Master Asia's arm, which is also pretty damn cool.
Yeah, that was probably the best animation of the whole kit and caboodle. This was that really cool exchange there. Although I was hoping he would have done like the wood replacement.
Mm-hmm.
Like he stabs Schwartz and you see it goes poof, and it's just a log with one of those little...
If you're in a giant robot, do you need like an entire tree to do that? Or do you just have a giant log?
No, it would actually be just a tiny normal sized log. and it cuts to Schwartz, he just goes, that's all I could afford. Like wood's getting really expensive now, guys.
Yeah, it's very difficult. Like every time I go to Canada to harvest lumber, like this like roided out guy chases me over Niagara Falls. It's no good.
Like I'm running really low here, guys. I don't got a lot of sponsors.
This sequence actually reminded me of that D&D rogue who constantly insists on hiding in the middle of combat so that they can get their sweet rolls back. And you're like, how do you think that you're gonna just hide? Like no, bro, I'm out. Just so I can get the sneak attack. Oh no, I'm back. It's actually like James Brown at the end of every concert. Like, oh, he's going. No, I'm back. Anyway.
Yeah, put the cloak on him. Put the cloak on him. He's done. And he just comes down again. He's like, no.
God damn it, Bruder.
Now I need. Okay, I need someone to make a clip when the Shining Gundam goes super mode. I need it when it goes all gold. I just need to hear. Let go.
And then you hear Beyonce back up, solid gold.
Yeah, like I just need that. I need when Schwartz decides to hide. I need let's see. I need the here, I'm gonna roll for hide. And then it's like, oh, net one. Because he's not hiding behind anything. Like he's like, or I love how a lot of DMs do it now, where you roll for stealth or whatever, and they go, "You think you're hidden really well."
Yeah.
He definitely wandered about halfway behind a rock and disappeared. After giving Domon a cryptic clue about what.
Oh my god.
Okay, he gave Domon's version of a cryptic clue, which was literally saying, you need to calm down and just, like, make your mind like water. And
that only would have gone well if he did it in Taylor Swift style. Because when has saying, you need to calm down ever worked?
I would have paid good money to have Rain cut in on a video camera and being like, what the hell are you doing, Domon? She just dresses him down. Like, it cuts to Master Asia. He's like, oh god. Okay. And Schwartz is like, oof, man. Chibity's like, should have treated her better. He's got all his girls with him. Like, he's like, see, should treat her better. Maybe you should get her a bunny suit. And Domon's like, Rain, not in front of the guys.
Another example of how Bruder is like the older brother, though, because at any point in the past, he could have given Domon some more direct instruction on how to better himself. But no, it's like, wait till the last possible moment. The project is due. Oh, yeah, by the way. Why don't you try clearing your mind? Calm down. Oh.
He could have done, Schwartz could have done anything at any time for the last, 5 episodes. Like, he's the most big brother of big brothers I've ever seen. Like, if he happened to just grab Domon and give him a nookie, or put his hand on the robot's head as Domon's like swinging, he's like, stop it! What? Are you trying to hit yourself? Stop hitting yourself! Like hitting him with the Gundam's arm. Like, God.
Yeah, if he gets to the pod and is like, no, I touched it first, it's mine.
No, if they're going to be that petty, he's going to get out and lick it.
No, Mom,
I called shotgun.
I want it to be one of those confusing sequences where we can't tell if it's actually him licking it or if it's the Gundam bending down and licking it. But anyway.
Yes.
God, Mom, Kyoji licked the last onigiri again. Kyoji, stop taking your brother's food. I didn't, Mom. I licked it. It was mine. The worst.
You know your brother's a cartoon martial artist. He needs to eat his entire body weight in chicken every day.
Oh, God. I would, you know what? A sitcom, a Gundam sitcom where, like, they were just doing these type of things. I would also watch that. I think that's a good idea. I think I'd watch that.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
We should.
The Kramer.
We'll have to pitch for the next Gundam series.
Oh, yeah. We can do that. Yeah, at this point, they're running out of ideas.
Just make sure it's a fake studio laugh.
No. It's gotta be. It's gonna be. We're gonna get that like old school laugh track, like Brady Bunch levels of laugh track. Like, oh man, have them riding on a bus like the Partridge Family.
So, have we gotten to favorite things?
Okay, so the two things I want to talk about is one is the thing where Schwartz is like passing by and they like makes eye contact with Kyoji. But also there's the scene where his mask falls and you only see you see the top third of his face, and honestly he looks like Hero.
Yeah. Which would be the ultimate reveal. That would be the twist. I'd be like, oh!
Somehow it's Hiro Yui.
With a
covered in wrenches. Like I went on and I've strapped enough wrenches to myself that I traveled into another series.
So I'm going to just repeat mine, which was the sartorial choice to take Master Asia's fighting ribbon thing and then just turn it into custom wear. Like, I'm trying to think of the equivalent. You know, you get a hold of like a sniper rifle and you just like, I don't know, turn it into a hula hoop or something for like.
You know what? We just said the equivalent. It's Hiro Yui breaking a leg and then be like, I could fix this vehicle with this wrench or my leg. Like,
yep.
My favorite moment has to be the absurdity of Schwartz's hiding spot when he drops the flashbang. They just go behind the waterfall. I'm like, you don't think he'll look there? Like,
okay, I don't want to sidetrack us here, but again, are flashbangs effective against, I would assume, is several $1 million worth of sensor technology equipped on these things?
Yeah.
Do they just have cameras sticking out the front and that's how they see everything? Because it just seems like they would be like, oh, geez, let's put some dampeners on that.
I would, oh my God, if he popped that and Master Asia just put on Master Roshi level sunglasses, and it's like, I definitely saw you go behind the waterfall. Like,
yeah, again, hopefully they don't have any high-tech thermals there or anything, because, anyway.
Definitely, like, the sunglasses and, like, the wig. And it's like, oh no, I'm a different martial artist. I'm the undefeated of the West.
I've only ever seen one other waterfall be so convenient, and that's in a great movie called A Quiet Place.
So my favorite part is kind of nuanced. After Domon punches his anger, his vengeance, his all of the doubt that he's had into the coil of the Devil Gundam or whatever, which causes cluster explosions all the way up to the three-headed Marushka doll. There was a subtle change in his eyes, because his eyes used to just be pinpricks of black, like throughout the series. And now he has color in them. He has a slate gray for an iris. And it's a very subtle change, but it's one that I noticed and that I was like, interesting. Interesting, subtle change that makes him look less driven by anger, less deranged, because he does get into that madness state. And so yeah, it's a subtle thing that I noticed, but I noticed.
Well, that's one of the things that I've loved about anime for a long time is, like, if you go in back and watch, like, 80s era anime, such as, like, Fist of the North Star or Wicked City, when you see that 80s style villain, they always have those, like, very skinny, slanted, dull eyes with, like, very black pupils. And it's their way of showing when someone is evil or there's something bad about them. So catching that nuance, because I didn't catch it at all, is a sign that I guess they're trying to do more development with Domon, I would assume. Maybe some character growth. We'll see.
That would help.
One would hope, but maybe he just needs more wrenches or something.
Indeed. Okay, so you can find our show notes at nostalgiapilots.com. Follow us on Twitter and YouTube at nostalgiapilots to view our episodes there. Catch everything I do through my Linktree. That's linktr.ee/QJO'Donnell.
You can find all my stuff over at skinner.fm.
And you can find everything I do over at nerdwithvoices.com.
And everything I do is listed on linktr.ee/Resonant Moon.
Next time we'll be talking about G Gundam episode 24, Bright New Star, The Birth of the God Gundam.
Dun,
Dun, dun, dun.
Until next week. Until next week, Domon's destiny has come to a crossroads.
Stop hitting yourself, Domon. Stop hitting yourself.
Got mad.
You missed. You missed.